し生まれ変わったらその時はさ
Hello loves, welcome back to another video. Today we are reading chapter 11 of Butterfly Blues. This is a Nagisa Shiota X listener. This one I titled If Only Things Were Different. Now this one has a little bit of Nagisa in it, but I promise next chapter it will be a lot of Nagisa. Thank you for listening. Hey, Nagisa? I asked through the phone. Hey, I'm here, Wayne. What's up? He responded shortly after. Well, you see, I began pacing through the living room back and forth as my aunts, Cleo and Bellery, set up their equipment. I have this ball thing to go to with my family, right? Yeah, Ria wouldn't shut up about how excited she was, and Kaino wouldn't stop crying because you didn't invite her. He sounded like he wanted to drop the topic already. Well, you know, the reason I'm calling you is because... Merlin, why am I so damn nervous to ask him? It's simple, like asking Rio. Well, I heard the doorbell ring, then heard it open. Wyan, your friend is here, my mother called. Oh, coming, I shout back, then gave my attention back to Nagisa for a moment. I'll ask you later. Oh, okay. I quickly hung up the phone and speed walked my way to the front door, which wasn't actually far from the family room, but not close either. Aunt Cleo gave me a look that told me they were indeed ready for us to start. I made my way to my mother, who had a weird smile on her face. I looked out the door, and there was Rio, with, I assume, is her mother, as well. Hello, you must be Wyan, the woman beside Rio announced. I'm Aki Nakamura, Rio's mom. She handed out her hand. I took it, of course, out of respect, and then motioned for Rio to come inside. Her mother seemed as lovely as a red rose on the outside, but only Merlin knows the thorns that prick and poke inside, with the exception of me, and clearly Rio. She didn't speak much of her home life, so we all assumed it was fine. The class, I mean. She never did give off any home problem vibes, though maybe I'm completely wrong and her mother's just an intimidating woman. I mean, I know everyone isn't like my mother. Just take Karasuma Sensei for example. On the outside, he's hard and built like a rock, but on the inside you can clearly see the soft heart of a jello in him. He cares, even if it makes him roll his eyes to admit it. Rio and I made our way around the corner into the living room, where we would get fitted. This also meant we'd have to pass the stairs, which obviously wasn't a big deal at the time. However, Gakushu came down at the exact moment, and all I could think about was, oh, brother, what is she doing here? He ran the rest of the way down the stairs. I was a little surprised. He even recognized Rio. She didn't look like herself at all. Her usually long straight hair was pinned in a neat bun with some hair clips decorating the sides. What's it to you, Shu? I asked, annoyed at his attitude. He opened his mouth to say something, but only let out air. In his defense, there was nothing he could say. It was useless to argue, and he knew that. So, like a good boy, he shut his mouth, stuck his hands in his pockets, and walked past us, completely aloof. Rio, please take your hair down, I begged. What? Why? We were sitting on the couch, waiting for our next fitting. We had already measured our waists, our hair, and our arm length. The only thing we needed now was our chest size. Because it's weird and it doesn't suit you, I pleaded. Gakushu never went back up to his room. Instead, he made it his primary goal to constantly glare at Rio and let her know she wasn't welcome. She didn't seem to mind though. I think she accepts it because she feels like she needs to punish herself. I really wish I could change her mind about that, but I know that's something only Shu can do. Okay, now your chests. Aunt Valerie commanded us to go up to the mini stage they had. We stood from the couch, and as we did so, I pulled Rio's hair down. She glared at me, but left it that way. I walked behind her with an accomplished smile spread across my face. Once our fitting was finally done, our mothers walked into the room from their tea time out in the garden. Yep, Rio's mom, stayed and talked with my mom, willingly, which leads me to believe that Rio's mom may just be the evil incarnate's friend. As Rio and her mom were leaving, Aunt Cleo asked for our favorite colors. I knew that Shu's suit was going to be black and a light orange, almost apricot color, so I spoke for us. Rio, don't you adore apricot? Gakushu shifted in his seat. Well, I would like to say I fancy it a great deal, she agreed, making Shu tilt his head. I noticed and of course hid my cheeky grin. That's settled, then why in? Champagne. Oh, what amazing choices. We'll get to work straight away, and they should be ready for tomorrow evening, Aunt Valerie exclaimed. Can you really do that? Miss Nagamura asked with curiosity. We can if we want to, and this is, of course, a family favor. Both my aunts eyed me as the words left Aunt Valerie's mouth. I played my part and smiled accordingly, as now both Shu and Rio gave me uneasy faces. Well then, we'll see you tomorrow, yes? Mother asked. Of course, I'll drop her off at— No, please, we'll pick her up, I insist, Mother asked. Oh, well, if you're sure, Mom nodded. And it's not out of your way? She nodded again with another smile on. Then I'll send you my address. Right, what's your number? They exchanged information, and I got to sit and watch the whole thing unfold with a minor one-sided war going on behind me. I smirked at myself as this was going better than expected. Anyway, Mother, I wanted to ask you something. She turned her head at the dinner table. Both Gakuho and Shu didn't look up, as it was respectful to not get into someone's conversation during a meal, especially if you were not a part of it. Our parents have been teaching us manners for the dinner party we were to attend afterwards. Yes, dear, what is it? I was wondering if I could bring a date. I tried to seem as subtle as I could with it, but it in fact caused something more. Shu looked up and raised an eyebrow while Gakuho asked, And who might this boy be? I took a deep breath. Shiota. Nagisa. Oh, my mother's voice boomed through the dining area. The cute short one you used to be friends with. Yes, that would be him, I replied, but Mother continued. Along with that other one, red hair, I believe. And that would be Karma. Shu made a face, but then fixed it as he knew the subject was a sore one for me to go over. Right. Mom put a hand over her heart. She knew Karma died saving me. She was extremely grateful and respectful to his family. I remember I couldn't stop crying. Nagisa was in a state of shock. Mom suggested we go to therapy together, but it did not help. Well, I'm glad you're talking with each other again. You know, a bond between people becomes stronger when they go through something together, whether it be sad or happy. I nodded my head slowly. Yeah, I guess. Well, you should invite him. Besides, he was rather adorable if I do remember clearly. She cooed. Shu and Dad made a face at each other. I found myself admiring them. They then smiled and began laughing. So, do you fancy him? Mom asked. I went pink. What? No, of course not. He's just a friend. I looked down and twiddled with my fingers. Okay, sure, Shu teased. Oh, whatever. I shot back, creating laughter among my family. I broke after a few seconds. Why couldn't every night be like this? One where we just laughed or let loose. One where we were not the Addams family or acting like someone just died. If only. No interruptions. One mistake. I love myself. I got no interruptions. I made one mistake. I counted. You guys, I'm getting so good at this. I'm so proud of myself. Okay, I'm gonna go edit that one mistake. Bye, loves.